Ready for a little history lesson? Picture this. Video games are on a steady decline in America. People are getting sick of the home console games just not looking or playing as good as the games in the arcade. Little did those silly Americans in 1985 know that home console gaming was the future, and it had already taken off in Japan. But Nintendo needed to find a way to bring their success from Japan into the States. The first step was to market their system as a toy first and foremost. The brand new Rod and Zapper peripherals, as well as the console's innovative controllers, would get that job done just fine. But Nintendo not only wanted the NES to be marketed as a toy, they also needed their system to appeal to kids and adults by making it well known that their system was an entertainment machine for all ages. Gone were the bright colors of the Famicom and in with a more techy futuristic design of the NES. The NES couldn't just be a toy, however. No siree. Below the surface, they needed a way to prove to America that the home console games were here to stay. They needed a killer app. And then, a savior appeared. And he would come in the form of a big old paisano. Super Mario Bros. Was released in 1985 for the Nintendo Entertainment System in America and the Nintendo Family Computer in Japan. The game would star the lead character from their most popular arcade game created by Shigeru Miyamoto, Donkey Kong. But oh, naive young one, in the game Donkey Kong, you don't play as Donkey Kong. That would be silly. You play as an Italian carpenter named Jumpman in his quest to rescue a kidnapped girl named Lady. Jumpman would be reworked into the character everybody knows and loves today as the one and only Super Mario, and Mario would continue his quest to save damsels in distress. But yeah, Mario's fine and all, but what about the ape? We care about the ape in this house. Well, he would get his chance another day. The game Donkey Kong was the very first platforming video game, a genre of game where the focus is jumping from platform to platform to avoid obstacles. The premise was brilliant, but had so much potential to be expanded on. For example, what if these levels could be longer and have multiple screens? Well, the brilliant minds at Nintendo made a platforming game with a sideways scrolling screen, but you can't go backwards. Yeah, that was too advanced for the time. The object of the game was simple. Go from the left side of the stage all the way to the right while jumping over enemies, avoiding pits, and other obstacles. You'd need some help along the way, though. Mario could defeat some enemies by landing on top of them, which was actually a concept first introduced in this game, as landing on enemies in Donkey Kong wouldn't end well for you. But just like Donkey Kong, running into an enemy would be instant death, and require you to restart the level. But Miyamoto took a look at the game and said, what if it wasn't instant death? Introducing the power-ups. First up, the Super Mushroom. It makes you big and allows you to break blocks by hitting them from below, and also allowing you to take an extra hit from an enemy. The Fire Flower allows you to shoot a projectile that could defeat enemies with the press of a button. And finally, the Superstar. A power-up that grants temporary invincibility and allows you to defeat every enemy you touch until it runs out. It is a time-limited power-up. Now, probably the most outdated part of Super Mario Bros. Design would be the live system. Taken from many old arcade games at the time, the live systems was a way to give the player a limited amount of attempts, but at the time, it was unheard of for a platformer to not have this system in place. So Nintendo decided that if you die 3 times, it's game over, and you have to start all the way back to the beginning of the entire game. Well, if you know Shigeru Miyamoto at this point, you could probably guess that he said something along the lines of, "That doesn't work for me, brother." And the team introduced more ways to get lives. The 1-Up Mushroom. Collecting this goodie gives you another attempt before game over. Alternatively, collecting 100 of the game's coins also nets you an extra life. The coins were very clever, as they were used as a way to guide the player to know where to go. Another thing that would stay with platformers for a long time would be the run button. By default, Mario walks pretty slow, but if you hold down the B, you'll be zooming, which makes it a little annoying to always have to have your thumb on the B button to move at a tolerable speed. But the most important part about running is that the momentum from your run would actually carry over into your jump. So you just press right on the D-pad, hold the run button, jump over obstacles, and make it all the way to the right of the level? Is that it? Well, yes, but actually no. Just like Donkey Kong, after beating the first level, there would be another level with elements rearranged and new elements introduced. But in this game, there wouldn't be just 4 levels, no siree. There would be 8 groups of 4 levels. These groups would be called worlds. Now, all of this can be a lot to process, especially during a time where games are very simple. But luckily, the team created one of the most iconic and best levels in all of video games to teach the player how all this works. World 1-1. The level starts with some blocks floating above you and a Goomba walking straight at you. If you don't jump, you'll get hit by the Goomba and lose a life. Right off the bat, the game teaches you how to avoid enemies, and since there are blocks right above the Goomba, you will most likely hit them and see that something useful comes out of those blocks, like coins or even an item that makes you bigger. And as everyone knows, bigger always means better. Even past this first screen, the level continues to teach the player things, like the fact that timing your jumps and movements is crucial to avoid obstacles like piranha plants. Other things in this level would go on to be super iconic, like the hidden 1-up, the star, the sub-area, and the Koopa Troopa. World 1-2. If you didn't know you could go into pipes before, well, now you do. This level provides a complete change of scenery, and heavily rewards you if you're able to keep your power up. If you haven't learned you can use a mushroom to break blocks yet, you would definitely learn in this level. 1-3. Now this level is the hardest test of your platforming skills so far. The mushroom platforms are small and easy to fall off of, and the level also introduces sideways moving platforms and paratroopas. World 1-4. The first castle level, and boy is this a good demonstration of what you'll get from these and the other worlds. In short, castle levels are the ultimate test of your skill, with dangerous hazards like lava, spinning firebars. You'll have to wait until the time is just right to pass by. The level also has a super strong enemy spitting fireballs at the end, called the boss. Holy fuck, is that a dinosaur? All great games have flaws, and I would say the main things that really bother me about this game are as follows. The main issue are definitely the controls. It's hard to adjust your speed after a jump, and the fact that you lose all your vertical and horizontal momentum when getting hit or collecting a power-up in the air is just bullshit. The ground movement is also a bit slippery. Another thing I hate is that paratroopers turn around if you hit them while they're in the air, which can result in some cheesy deaths. Some of the later levels start to just spam enemies. Oh, and how can I forget about the Hammer Bros? Fucking bullshit-ass enemy. Their feet can even hurt you. Now, I have a confession to make. I haven't actually beaten the original Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, I know. I'm a fake gamer. But today I rectify that inadequacy with the power of cheating, baby. The original Super Mario Bros. Is home to a host of secrets, hidden blocks, the ability to go into pipes to access secret rooms. The most iconic secret is the warp zones. Hidden in some of the game's levels are areas where you can skip to a world of your choosing. But those are cheap. Plus, I'd be skipping a lot of this masterfully created game by using those. So I decided the way I will beat Super Mario Bros. Is by making a save state before each and every level, but still play through every level from beginning to end without making save states during the levels. Now, am I a hypocrite for using save states to beat Super Mario Bros., but simultaneously saying that using save states to beat Donkey Kong Country is for pussies? Well, yes. Yes, dear viewer, I am. Anyways, let's do this! Wow. After all these years, I'm finally a true gamer. I feel like I need a shower.